This is the Sand Creek Massacre National Historic Site. It's in Kiowa County, Colorado, about 170 miles from Denver. In 1864, about 700 1st and 3rd Colorado Regiment troops killed over 200 people in the peaceful Native American village of the Cheyenne and Arapaho tribes. If you're asking who was responsible, there are a couple different names that can answer that question. One of them is the namesake of Evanston and founder of Northwestern University. To understand what led up to the massacre, let's go back to 1851, the year the Fort Laramie Treaty ensured Cheyenne and Arapaho ownership of the area between the Arkansas River and the Nebraska border. But the 1858 Pikes Peak Gold Rush brought a wave of white settlers to the area, and tensions between them and Native Americans started to rise. On February 8, 1861, Chief Black Kettle headed a Cheyenne delegation that signed the Treaty of Fort Wise along with Arapaho leaders, believing that increased hostilities had lessened collective Native bargaining power. The treaty took much of their land. It also gave them a 600 square mile reservation and a small sum of money. At a Sand Creek commemoration event this November, descendants of those massacred discussed those treaties.
It was caused because of land, gold, manifest destiny, and doctrine or discovery.
Before they discovered gold, Cheyenne Arapahoes owned the Central Plains. That was our land. That was our home base. They started to restrict us in the areas that we could move to. And they always used different ways to negotiate with us.
Remember the namesake of Evanston and founder of Northwestern I told you about before? This is where he comes into the picture. His name is John Evans, and he was the territorial governor of Colorado from 1862 to 1865. In August 1864, after several attacks on Cheyenne camps, Evans entered peace negotiations with Black Kettle and other chiefs. Evans advised Black Kettle to move his band to Fort Lyon, Colorado. There, a commanding officer encouraged him to hunt near Sand Creek. Colonel John Chivington then led his troops into a slaughter of the Arapaho and Cheyenne people there, even after Chief Black Kettle raised the U.S. flag and a white flag, a symbol of surrender. The event came to be known as the Sand Creek Massacre.
This is the institution of higher learning. I think it's important that you learn history. But the history has always been written on the one that had the biggest guns. But there was always another side of history that you had to read. And that's from our side. We're trying to go on with this that has happened to us.
There was no reason for that to happen. Because they put us where they wanted to put us, out in nowhere, where there's just sand and sagebrush, and to do what they did to those that were killed. And how could somebody do that to a human?
Both Northwestern and the University of Denver, which Evans also founded, issued reports in 2014 on Evans' involvement in the Sand Creek Massacre, and came to differing conclusions. The University of Denver found that Evans was deeply culpable. Northwestern's report said no evidence indicates that Evans helped plan the massacre or had prior knowledge of it.
Not necessarily disappointed, but taken back. It wasn't written strong enough to show any of Evans' culpability. But Northwestern and DU studies can be revisited. Hopefully one day that more information will come out and it'll be revisited, and more of a foundation of truth could come out.
Northwestern, however, has launched efforts to strengthen its relationship with Native American communities, including the inception of a Native American Outreach and Inclusion Task Force. Ridgely said he's glad to see these efforts, but says he'd like to see the university do more, like flying Arapaho and Cheyenne flags on campus. And though he has received an apology from John Evans' descendants, he can feel its effects over a century and a half after the massacre.
To me, it's personal because when I look at my grandchildren, I don't know how I would take it to see them be shot and cut up. It takes a long time to heal.